criticism of Israeli policy is not anti-Semitism, but when you question the right of Jews to a national identity, when you question the existence of a Jewish state, you move beyond the political.
He's sort of intentionally trying to get in the weeds here to maybe shift the spotlight away from some of his past comments, which I think everyone can agree are unacceptable.
No, you want to stick to choice quotes that you can utilize to disparage what the actual message is. When you hear the actual message, you go, oh, he's just trying to dance around it. It's bullshit. Dana Fash did a whole piece on me at 7 minutes and 45 seconds, okay? 7 whole minutes and 45 whole seconds. Very interesting.
Like, that doesn't change the dynamic for me. The Palestinian resistance is not perfect.
Dude, one of the craziest parts about this, first of all, thank you for using this cool photo, okay? I look pretty good. Secondly, classic clip chimp that very quickly identifies what my position is. 2 things that are very interesting about this. Fox News, when they actually talk about that clip, they show the full context. None of this justifies that Palestinians have a right to dignity, a right to emancipation, a right to live free lives, free from this occupation. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if rapes happen on October 7th. Like, that doesn't change the dynamic for me even this much, which allows people to understand what I was saying. Maybe they disagree with it. Maybe they don't. I don't care, right? The reason why CNN doesn't offer the full context is because if CNN were to show the full context, they recognize that their audience will go, wait a minute. He's not saying like are good or whatever. He's not saying it doesn't matter that happened. He's saying that whether happened or not doesn't change the dynamic of Israel's genocide. It doesn't justify genocide. It's happening or not doesn't justify Israel's genocide. That is the overwhelming majority position for many Americans, especially liberals. So they know that, and that's the reason why they have to clip chimp it further than even what Fox News utilizes. Because for most people at Fox News, like, they don't need this kind of clip chimping. Okay, they don't need that. They already go, oh, Hasan against Israel. All right, I'm out. You know,
America deserved 9/11, dude. F it, I'm saying it. Like, we fucking totally brought it on ourselves, dude. Holy shit, we did. We fucking did.
Piker did later call that comment inappropriate and said he didn't mean Americans deserved to die. Several progressive politicians have appeared with Piker on Twitch, including Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Senator Bernie.
Like, she's so angry. She can't even get her words across, dude. This is obviously personal, right? She's super pro-Israel. We know that. We already know that. She's very mad that this issue is gone. She's aware of it. It's becoming increasingly more difficult for her to chime in on a strong pro-Israel stance in polite company. So she's just like angrily lashing out. It's not going to work.
Sanders and Congressman Ro Khanna. Other Democrats, including El Sayed's primary opponents in Michigan, Mallory McMorrow and Haley Stevens, not only refuse, but both condemn Piker and his comments. My panel is back now. David Chalian?
I just think this is a fascinating bet that Al Sayed is making here, that, like, refusing to back down from his association with Piker, embracing it, standing with him is...
By the way, this is David Chalian, who's like their Washington bureau chief and their top policy analyst. Interesting. Very interesting perspective coming from the top policy analyst at CNN on a panel where, you know, Dana Bash clearly wants him to say something different. Listen to him and his words here.
But the Sayed operation is betting the Piker popularity with the base is the safer bet in the cost-benefit analysis to make for him. And I just think that that's a really interesting thing to have us watch, because the politics of Israel inside the Democratic Party, especially in the state of Michigan, with a big Arab American population, as we saw in the 24 primary, this is still like a live wire inside the Democratic Party.
Yeah, I mean, it's also a state where there were almost 100-something preschoolers almost murdered by a terrorist.
See, she didn't get what she wanted. Like, she wanted condemnation, and that's it, right? Oh, this is devastating. This is bad for the campaign. She didn't get that, so she literally turns around and is like, well, there's a terrorist that, you know, attacked the synagogue, as though that has anything to do with me. Like, as though that has anything to do with me at all. As though I wouldn't, like, condemn acts like that. It's so gross. It's so nasty. It's so Islamophobic. It is what it is. It's just a reality.
A live wire inside the Democratic Party.
Yeah, I mean, it's also a state where there were almost 100-something preschoolers almost murdered by a terrorist who...
Like, that's her literally contradicting his point, being like, well, don't you think it's still up? Shouldn't we rise above the machine of politics here? And doing that by also conflating me and Abdul, who will become the first Muslim senator, inshallah, with an act of terrorism on U.S. soil. It's a very insincere argument. It's a very cynical argument. There's a clear motive here. It's terror jacketing, right?
I've spent my entire professional media career and far beyond that combating anti-Semitism. I've been doxxed, swatted by neo-Nazis for my consistent advocacy against anti-Semitism. I just also happen to be an avowed anti-Zionist. I believe Zionism is a very racist ideology ideology. It's an ethno-religious supremacist ideology, and it's the underpinning ideology that has caused the genocide of Palestinians in the hands of Israel and also the United States of America.
Now, just a little bit of sort of fact checking here and context, because it's important, because these terms are thrown around without, understandably, people.
Yo, lean into your panel, Dana. Why are you commanding the conversation, Dana? You have not one, not two, but three panelists on there, Dana. What's going on? Notice how she played the entire hit where I'm able to speak. All of a sudden, I'm able to convince the CNN audience, which, by the way, I still do respect that they at least show that full quote, right? Because no one, and I mean no one that's a liberal watching CNN is going to see the first half of that and then see what I have to say right there, where it's not like a clip out of context. It's not something that they're quoting, that they claim I'm implying or saying, but me directly. All of a sudden, very different dynamic. All of a sudden, people are going to look at that and go, wait a minute, I don't think this guy's anti-Semitic at all. That's why she has to then turn around and slam additional context to the conversation. Let's take a look.
Really knowing what they mean to,
I'm just
to a lot
silly.
of people. First of all, Zionism. What is it actually? It's a nationalist movement, an ideology supporting the notion of a Jewish state, the Jewish people's right to self-determination. He just called that a racist ideology, that the right for Jews to have self-determination. Deborah Lipstadt, who is one of the foremost experts, academic experts, who worked in the State Department on anti-Semitism. I talked to her about this a couple of years ago and many times since, the difference between quote-unquote anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism. Here's how she answered that.
Also, Deborah Lipstadt is a perfect demonstration of someone who does actually live that ethno-religious supremacist ideology. Someone who is in a position of power, right? Who was the anti-Semitism czar under the Biden administration, who routinely has been cooked by Isaac Chotiner and numerous others for being openly aligned with Donald Trump's goals with respect to the allegiance that we have with Israel. Someone who has said that Donald Trump has done a lot of great things, like moving the embassy to Jerusalem, all this stuff. She can't get across the argument that anti-Zionism is actually anti-Semitism. So she has to lean into experts, but the experts that she's leaning into are also known for being racist. Race against Palestinians, race against Arabs, race against Muslims. Do you understand? This is what I mean when I say they can't actually fight against the message, so they have to disparage the messenger. They have to shoot the messenger because they can't tackle the message. Here is Dana messing up and trying to actively disparage the message. It won't work. The moment that you do that, you give the game away. She should have just stuck to the quotes and just been like, he's a bad guy, he's a bad guy, he's a bad guy. But the moment that she has that conversation around my worldview, my values, and why I say the things that I say, all of a sudden it's a very different dynamic. It's indefensible from Dana Bash's perspective. And this is precisely the reason why Dana could just as easily invite me to a panel and cook me if she wanted to, right? If she had such a strong moral foundation, she could easily ask me to come on the panel. I've been on CNN already. I was on the CNN piece that Donnie conducted, but she can't do that. She has to talk over me. She has to lie about my worldview so she can try and control the way that the audience sees me. And still, in that regard, because it's such a 90-10 issue, it doesn't matter. Most people know exactly what these tactics look like, these smear campaigns look like when someone is a prominent critic of the state of Israel.
Criticism of Israeli policy is not anti-Semitism, but when you question the right of Jews to a national identity, when you question the existence of a Jewish state, you move beyond the political.
Shelby?
Yeah, I mean, when you, I think he's sort of intentionally trying to get in the weeds here to maybe shift the spotlight away from some of his past comments, which I think everyone can agree are unacceptable. But this is the broader issue, I think, in this day and age in particular, with everybody being so online, with a ton of younger voters starting to get in the mix on both sides of the aisle. The ultimate question is how far.
The only thing that you show that is like fully framed as a question and an answer is actually me moving away from the subject matter. No, you want to stick to choice quotes that you can utilize to disparage what the actual message is. When you hear the actual message, you go, oh, he's just trying to dance around it. It's bullshit.
Do we want to go with this? And one of the reasons that Democrats lost in the last election was because the American people felt like they were too far to the left and they weren't necessarily representing the average
Yeah,
American
this part
voter.
is also bullshit. She says the Democrats lost because they went too far to the left. Yeah, really? Yeah, they went too far to the left on Palestine. Really? That's interesting because every single poll right now shows the exact opposite of that reality. Very odd that they even bring that up. Such a ridiculous statement to make.
Ro Khanna, for example, he said that he has no regrets about appearing on Hasan Piker's show.
it's interesting because going back to the last presidential campaign, you were mentioning that Democrats moving to the left. Another reason they struggled is, they often face criticism on not meeting people where they were, just communication-wise, right? And Hasan Piker, other influencers, these people have millions of followers, right? And Dems see it as a way to reach a younger, disgruntled base that is losing faith in their political system, right? But the dynamic that you're talking about, what comes with that benefit of reaching those folks? Yes, you had the interview there with Hasan Piker. I think what's even going to be more influential is the questions that are put to the politicians that choose to go on these platforms. They're also going to face the questions of whether or not they defend these statements and these views.
That's it. So 2 panelists that don't play the game that Dana Bash wants to play. 1 panelist that tries to lean into it a little bit and makes ridiculous statements in the process. As politics grows louder, CNN's Dana Bash has become one of Washington's steadiest voices, pressing for answers, rejecting spectacle, and reminding viewers that the news, not the performance around it, still matters. But remember, Dana is doing that for her own personal goals here. When you're Dana Bash, you're one of the top anchors on the network. You're dropping all pretense of impartiality, and you're totally doing this smear job, and you're failing to do so. But read the comments under that. It didn't go well. Oh, you mean under the PR tweet? Yeah, I know. Everyone was cooking her because everyone knows what she's about.